Good morning and welcome back to Ells Messages of Light. Just thought I'd pop on, so I'm getting downloads from Spirit, but I just don't know what they want me to talk about yet. Usually I get a bit of an inkling on, you know, like say if I automatic write, then I get an inkling that I'm going to automatic write. Yeah, but I've been drawn to four decks. So it's the When Women Had Wings. Again, I definitely know there's message in here for us. And I've also been drawn to Mary Magdalene, which I've not done a reading on Mary Magdalene for a while. But I've also been drawn to Divine Feminine, and also the Rose Oracle. I'm just going to put my light on because it seems to be much better. I'm still getting used to all this technology stuff. It's not my thing. Energy, crystals, yeah, that's my thing. Technology, not my thing. But Spirit wants me on here for a reason, so I've had to try and make it my thing. So yeah, just taking day by day, trying to you know, add on to this channel so I can reach out to more people, and yeah, just do what Spirit wants me to do. So I'm just going to give us a cleanse. So I've got cellulite on me today. You might have caught my light language and Reiki videos. So I use cellulite. It's really, really cleansing, and it just, you know, takes away any negative energy that might come our way. You never know. It's always, you know, good to be, yeah, you know, be prepared. Just cleansing our space. Also, when you do, you know, tarot cards and anything spiritual, I always cleanse and, you know, clear the energy prior to it. That's on myself and in my sacred space, you know, at my altar. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's a form of you're inviting good in, you know. It's yeah, you're setting the stage, so to speak, you know, for Spirit. And I always think I'm more clear a channel as well, you know, because once you clear that negative energy around your auric field, then you can get a clearer channel. Also protection, which I stress so much on this path. Not to scare anybody, because it's a beautiful path, you know. When you can connect with the, you know, beyond this world, it's beautiful. But you know, there is also protection that does come into it, you know, just protecting your energy from others, and yeah, you know, any other, any other worldly presence, you know, that wants to come in, then it's always good to have protection, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm being drawn to this pack. So here we go. Spirit wants me to get on with the reading. So I've been working with this deck for quite a while now. Spirit's been coming through it in many ways. Even a twin flame message came through it, which is quite shocking to me, because since I've had this deck, I've not really had the message of a twin flame coming through it. But again, Spirit works in mysterious ways. All the cards upside down today. Is that going to be a sign for the day? Is it going to be an upside down topsy-turvy kind of day? Yesterday's reading was Spirit having a sense of humour. The angel card that I finished with. And Spirit certainly does have a sense of humour when they want to. So yeah, let's just see what message is. But I'm getting that it's just going to be random decks today, so nothing specific, but the messages will, you know, follow on, you know, they usually do. So let's just see. Messages for it. First card, please. Okay. So first card is the Nine of Swords. Now, first glance, you know, my first glance of this card is it's the roses, it's the flowers, you know, I can just see the flowers, and then obviously I can see that lady who's deep in thought and yeah, introspection. You know, she looks like she's gone inside of herself to really, you know, to think. Yeah, and then she's got those 9 swords above her. So yeah, those 9 swords could be, you know, the deep dark places of her mind. You know, 9 swords does not necessarily mean coming from other people, which I stated yesterday's reading. To me, this seems like those 9 swords of her own thinking mind. You know, she's mulling over things. She's probably reminiscing as well. She looks like she's, you know, in a dream state, and yeah, reminiscing and mulling over things and really deep in thought. So let me just have a look in the book. That's my interpretation on it and my downwards. But yeah, so 9 of Swords. Let's have a look. I love this book. Yeah, there we go. So she's really caring, she's going over things, just what I said, she's mulling, but she's going over things that have, you know, happened, depressive episodes, so to speak. She's integrating, just what I said, she's integrating all what she's been through already, and she's giving that up to the high powers, you know. She's very dreamlike state, you know. When you go into a more of a stillness inside yourself, you do give it up to the high powers, because at this point, it's, you know, it's got a bit too much for you, shall I say. It says trauma on this card, and yeah, let's use the word trauma. We all have trauma inside us, you know. But we're all very capable of clearing trauma out as well, doing our healing and removing those blocks, and eventually that trauma leaves us. You know, if you keep at it long enough, it will leave us. But this lady, yeah, she's give it up to the higher, you know, she's give it up to God. She's at that point now where she's tried everything, you know, and she just looks traumatized, to be quite fair on this card. But she's give it up to the higher source, you know. But yeah, that's where she's gone in. She's gone into herself to really integrate what she's been through. You know, and she's come to this point of, you know, she didn't want to speak. She's just gone inside herself and she's give it up to source. So 9 of Swords. So that's quite a message to start off with from Spirit. So let's see what the next card is. But you know, the 9 of Swords to me, And the first thing I saw on it was the flowers. So that's saying to me that, you know, in every bad situation, or in, you know, when you just feel like you're at your lowest and you can't, you know, can't go on, and it's been too traumatizing and it's caused trauma, you know, situations that keep recurring and recurring and recurring, and it's that loop, that never-ending loop, and it's going to cause a long-lasting, you know, effect on your psyche and your emotional body. Yeah, and get you questioning, you know, things. But yeah, she's at that point where she's just give it up to the high source. You know, she's ready to give it up to the high source. But yeah, I saw on this card, although there was swords above her, there was a lady deep in introspection. I saw beyond that. This is where they want me to talk about my path now. So on my journey, I've been here. I've been in that deep introspection. I've been, don't like the word trauma, but yeah, we do hold trauma in us. I've been traumatized by certain situations that have come towards me. But all along, although I've been in this, you know, this thought process, this quite a depressive state, I'd say, this, you know, isolated introspection state, I've always seen what's beyond it, you know, and the first thing I saw was these flowers, these beautiful flowers blooming, and this is where it's going to follow on to Mary Magdalene, flowers, roses, blooming, the rose path. I've always known, even in this deep introspection and in the darkest times of my healing, that I was following a beautiful path. As hard as it was, I've always known it was leading me somewhere very, very beautiful. And, you know, I've just recently discovered, I'd say in this last year, I'm on the rose path. I'm part of the rose lineage, the Mary Magdalene Rose lineage. This came through to me, you know, in, yeah, downloads, messages, meditations, just like on, like my Lemurian past life, that's come through to me, just in downloads, meditations, you know. When you keep leveling up your consciousness, more things keep coming back to you. You know, you're reaching that more high vibration stage, and you can hold it. You start to hold that vibration too, instead of, you know, like dropping out all the time. I was doing that for quite a long time, and that's because of my doubts, and that was because of my own mind. I was keeping myself trapped there, you know. So what I'm saying is, yeah, even though in all this darkest time of my journey, seven long years, maybe more, I knew that it was leading me to something beautiful, something life-changing, something of value to the world as well, not just to me. But I was doing all this deep healing of my traumas and my wounds, and my shadows, to help others. I knew it was, if I had to go this deep, I knew it was going to be something, yeah, like that meant something, you know. You don't go through this path if it's not going to mean something. Spirit's got a sense of humour, going back to yesterday's reading, but spirit ain't cruel. You know, they're not going to put you through loads and loads and loads of years of trauma and the stuff I've gone through on this path. If just at the end of it, it's for nothing. It's got to be for something, and I knew that deep in my soul. It was leading me to something, you know, to help others, is what I'm saying. So, do we get another one of these cards, or go on to the Mary Magdalene? Mary Magdalene. Yeah, this is why I picked these cards. They're all gonna, everything connects on this path. Just like these cards are gonna connect. But yeah, the first thing I saw on here was the roses, the flowers. And then that instantly took me back, you know, to my rose path, you know, the rose path that I'm on, the Mary Magdalene path. And hence why I found these cards, which are absolutely beautiful. Oh, amazing, amazing cards. Channeled by the beautiful Kalina Malnar. Amazing woman. Taught me so much on my path. Yeah, it brought me on leaps and bounds in my light language, understanding my light language, understanding why all this is happening to me. And I was meant to find this lady because it's all connected. I had to remember, come back into my remembrance of the rose path, the Mary Magdalene, Magdalenas, the rose lineage. I had to remember all that. And this was a way that spirit got through to me to bring the remembrance back. First, I found this lady a few years back online while I was searching for things to help me and being guided also. Nothing's by chance on this path as well. It's always led. I'm always guided. The right things come along just when I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Along comes that spirit sends that thing, you know, that whether it's person, whether it's oracle cards, that thing tends to, I won't say land on my lap, but yeah, kind of feels like that. But I know it's because spirit's, you know, guiding me every step of the way. But yeah, amazing lady. So yeah, part of the rose lineage. I'm finding more and more out of this path, and the remembrance is coming more and more back to me each day, you know. Each time I go into deeper discovery of myself, my path, meditations, yoga, you know, it all starts coming back. You're waking up that consciousness that's been asleep, and then you start remembering who you really are. And I'm a divine feminine high master, part of the rose lineage, twin flame. You know, we're all multidimensional, not just one thing, one lifetime. We're all multidimensional. And this card came out. Now, I was talking about this on my channel yesterday, and I'll just read it. And it says, one need not speak of ill remorse against another, as thy word shall return to you. And now, I spoke about starting this channel to help others, and because I'm guided, I'm not tech-minded. I didn't want to start any social media channels. That was never in my scope, ever. My children laugh at me because they're not untechnical, you know. I am, but again, the downloads was coming in that I had to reach out more globally. It was time. I'd done my healing. I'd done my I'd come into the higher master knowing of myself. I'd gone from the student to the master stage. I'd graduated, so to speak. You know, on the spiritual path, you go for like initiations, and it's tests from spirit to see how strong you are, and, you know, to keep pushing you through, and to fortify your strength and to bring that back to you as well. I've done that. You know, I've done that. I've done those 7 years of testing and initiations and pushing through blocks and moving my shadows out of the way. And this is what I spoke about yesterday, and it's one need not speak of ill remorse against another, as thy word shall return to you. So what you give out, you get back. You know, so you know, you speak ill of somebody, then those words are going to come right back to you. You know, yeah, you know, it goes without saying. if you're going to put bad out, then you're going to attract, you know, negative, aren't you? If you're not a very nice person, and I don't know, I like to see the good in everybody. You know, we've all got our what's the word? Our shadows inside, but I like to see the good in everybody. You know, even when people are behaving in ways you don't understand. Many times I've not understood how people can behave the way they do, but you know, I try to look beyond that, try to see the good in them. And this is, what you give out shall return. So speak kindly of people. You know, think kindly of others, even when you can tell they're not thinking kindly of you. You know, just, you know, it's like that, killing them softly. You know, just let it rebound off you, and just think kind thoughts. You know, don't get into that cycle of retaliation and fighting fire with fire. You know, I always say to my kids, fight fire with love, because love's the highest frequency we have. You know, unconditional love is the highest frequency that we have. So when my son, we had this conversation yesterday, this is why it's coming up. Me and my son was a bit upset that maybe I'd got, you know, not so nice comment or whatever, but I'm at that vibration of, it doesn't matter, son, but to him it mattered, because his vibration's not raised enough. You know, he's not done that work I've done. You know, he's still young, but he couldn't understand why it didn't bother me, because I was like, if I'm going to let people, you know, that are obviously triggered by me, upset me all the time, I'm not going to be able to do this channel. I'm not going to reach out to the ones that really want to, you know, expand and heal and get something out of me and what I've been through, you know. So yeah, he just couldn't understand me why I want angry and why I want, you know, ranting and raving and that. But that's not me, and it never will be me. I've always lived a life where somebody says something unkind to you, I'll say something nice back to you, because I know that you need it, because you're coming from a place of wounds and healing, and needing to heal them wounds yourself, you know, otherwise you wouldn't be like that. So yeah, he just couldn't understand that. But this is what this is saying, you know, just, yeah. And karma's real as well, you know. I'm just getting karma's real, telling me karma's real. So what you give out will return to you, but it'll return tenfold, you know. And I've always spoke about that as well, you know. Karma's real. Way before I got on this journey, I've always known what you give out, what you get back. It's just the way the universe works, isn't it? It's you know, it's that. But yeah, this card is, one need not speak of ill remorse against another, as thy words shall return to you. Food for thought, something to think about. But yeah, I don't fight fire with fire, I fight fire with love. And yeah, my vibration's too high to be bothered now. I've done that work, and it's really freeing as well to get to this state, after 7 long years on a tough journey. Also being connected to another on this journey, you know. Spiritual awakening is one thing, but being connected to another, the emotions, the physical, the you know, the thoughts, and all the other things that you get on this path, that's another level. That's where you really do, like, you know, you go into your healing. You have to survive it, really. So it's the strongest survive this path. But yeah, you won't be on this path if you weren't strong enough to survive it, is what I'm saying. So yeah, these cards, this is how it works for me. Just guided to go to certain decks. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. Just, it comes out the way it comes out. Even I'm getting used to this. So yeah, the Rose Oracle. Again, following on from the Mary Magdalene Rose. You know, and the Rose path, you know, this is the Rose path. This is me working through all these thorns, all my trauma, all my healing that I have to do, not tearing the thorns off, not cutting them off, but just pushing through and healing them, you know. And then it brings me to this rose, and this is why I call this, well, it is called the Rose path anyhow, but I call it the Rose path because it's my path back to my rose. It's my path back to my heart. And everything comes from the heart. This is why you don't fight fire with fire, you fight fire with love, which is from the heart. And once you start living in that vibration of your heart, that frequency of unconditional love, it don't matter what outsiders say about you. It doesn't matter if they call you witch, voodoo. It doesn't matter, because you know the truth. You've always known the truth. And yeah, you know, I'm going to take this card. So this card is the Sacred Union and the Beloved Within. So, you know, my path, it's took me on, because I'm a twin flame, I'm connected to another, one soul, two bodies, forever connected, space and time, no separation. The Sacred Union, this path has took me on a path back to my sacred union, my inner union, you know, the beloved within me, Ellie at the core, not to do with this other physical body, who's my soul, you know, and same frequency. It's all been about my journey back home, for you know, through this rose path. It's been about my inner union, bringing me back to myself, my inner union, and finding my spiritual gifts and awakening them up, should I say, not finding them, they've just been asleep, awakening them up again, you know, and my remembrance of them, and yeah, them coming back to me each time I raise, you know, my vibration, each time I push through these obstacles, that more and more has come online for me, and more keeps coming online for me. Yeah, I just accept it now. So it's the way of the path, you know. But it's the beloved within, the inner and outer relationships too. So the saying, when you, I'll show you this card, it's beautiful. Yeah. So basically this card is saying, when you find the true you within, the beloved within, not the one you've been showing the world, not the one you thought you was, but the actual beloved within, then that inner love for you starts to spread out to others. Yeah, and you start radiating that for others and lifting others. The amount of people that I've helped on this path, even when I've been still searching for that beloved within, it's been amazing to see. And it just brings me so much joy and happiness to, my fringe has got its own mind today. I think I need to go to the hairdresser. Brings me so much joy and, you know, like happiness to know that everything I've gone through has meant something, and it means something to others, and the work I've done and put into myself on my dark times, you know, my Nine of Swords times, brought me to cutting my ferns, you know, to trimming those ferns, or to healing the ferns, and brought me to my rose. And then finding my rose then brought me to my beloved within, my inner union with myself. You know, not to get on the twin flame thing, but this is my path. I am a twin flame. I've had to accept that, you know. I tried not to for quite a while, but to really, really, truly come back to yourself in a union, you do have to accept everything about this path. Everything. And you have to accept it, not only for yourself, but you have to accept that, you know, others won't accept it as well. You know, you come to that acceptance is what I'm saying of, you know who you are. You've gone through that 9 of Swords. You've gone through on this long, long journey on the rose path through the thorns. Become that rose, that closed bud, you know, you've opened up your petals. You come into sacred union with yourself, you know. So